I'm an archaeologist with Cotswold Archaeology, and I've been working here at Hinkley Point since March of this year.
Yvonne, I just wondered if you could tell us about your most memorable experience about working on this site here at Hinkley Point.
We had a very exciting discovery last week. It was a grave, and there was a coffin within the grave, and it was made of shale, and it was something that I've never seen before, and it was sort of like a little humpy back shape like that. Very, very unusual, as I say, something I hadn't seen before. And when we excavated it, the bone preservation was still very, very good of the person buried in the coffin.
Wow, that sounds really interesting.
It was.
Were there any grave goods with the skeleton?
Yes, there were. I'll say young lady because she had a copper alloy bangle which was still around her wrist, and she also had hobnail boots on, which sounds very inelegant, but it's a Roman site, and a lot of the Roman burials that we have still have their boots on, and the hobnails survive.
Wow. I just kind of think, how does it feel when you're excavating a human remains like that? Do you find yourself sort of thinking about the person that was buried there and wondering what their life was like, and does it feel a bit strange sort of removing them from their final resting place?
It's mixed emotions, really. I think you feel quite humble in that you're part of that person's existence. I always feel that when I'm excavating a skeleton, that I'm very aware that life must be very different, and this person was put in the ground, and life was so very, very different to how it is now. And when you excavate and expose the skeleton, I always feel as though I need to explain a little bit about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it.
Yes.
Most archaeologists talk to their skellies, and quite a lot of us give them names as well, affectionate nicknames, so that it personalises it.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it possible to have a look at the find that was discovered with the skeleton?
Yes, certainly. It's still in the bag because it's quite fragile, but I don't know if you can.
I was going to zoom in and have a look.
Zoom in on there. And just see.
Goodness me, yes.
Yeah. It's a bangle that it hasn't got a catch or anything. It just fits around the wrist and then squeezes to size. It's quite, the body of the bangle is quite thick. I don't know if you can see down the side there.
Yeah.
And then the ends are sort of almost pinched and flattened.
Oh yes. Yeah, you can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff.
It's lovely, and it was still actually on the arm when we
Isn't that incredible?
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Wow, a real sort of snapshot into that person's life.
Absolutely. And I assume, or you like to think, that it was a treasured possession because it went into the ground with them. We also had a burial, another Roman burial on another site within Hinkley, and when we were excavating we found lots of little bone pegs. They were maybe a centimetre and a half, just squared off little pegs, scattered throughout the grave, and we couldn't really work out what they were. But as the excavation of the skeleton progressed, there was two right on the top of the head just here.
Yes.
And one idea is that possibly these were little bone shroud pins. And toggles, not pins.
Yes.
They were sort of twisted into the shroud,
Yeah.
which would explain why they were scattered around the grave. Again, something I've not seen before.
No,
So
that does
very
sound
exciting.
like it might be quite unusual.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's really interesting. Thank you very much for that.
That's a pleasure.